So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the Industrial Vision Days. This is today's session, and I have the honor to open it. My name is Andreas Breyer. I'm doing market research, and I'm also in charge for public relations within the European Machine Vision Association. And I will share with you some results of our market research on the European machine vision industry in the next 15 minutes or so. So first of all, I would like to show you some key facts of our annual industry study, which is called European Vision Technology Market Statistics. And let's just go into details with roughly a bit of an overview of how we do it and what you can expect from it. It is an industry report. That means that worldwide turnover numbers of all European and Europe-based vision companies are being included. Differentiation between European and Europe-based is basically that a European company has its headquarters here, and a Europe-based company would be a subsidiary of a company being abroad, but have doing sales here as well. The evaluation itself is based on three major pillars, with public data generated out of desktop research being the minor part of it. The core part of it actually is a questionnaire we send out each year to several hundred companies asking specifically about turnover numbers, number of employees, sales what they generated to the regions, but also sales by products. This is being supplemented afterwards by in-depth interviews, which are being conducted mostly by myself regarding general economic aspects, but also regarding specific country-specific aspects of machine vision. Altogether, data of 247 machine vision companies are included in the current edition, in the 2012 edition of this report. Germany, traditionally being the largest market for machine vision in Europe, also here has with 57.25% the largest percentage of participants. Companies from other Europe account for 42.75% in this report. The vast majority of companies report that they are vision manufacturers, which includes vision components manufacturers, but also vision system manufacturers, and 11% are distributors of machine vision components. Now the next number here is quite interesting. 54% of the companies reported that they are pure vision companies. And that means that they do nothing else than machine vision. This number has actually been declining in the last years, mainly due to the fact that many companies in vision-related industries, such as robotics, automation in general, have successfully tried to open up new divisions in machine vision within their groups and also act on the market. They're not solving internal vision problems with it, but also they act on the market with new vision solutions. The report itself has a big European chapter with all the European numbers in detail. It also contains technical trends, market trends in each product segment and product type, broken down to the product types. But it's also split up by countries, and this is our aim actually, to cover the whole of Europe and the major markets in Europe with separate country reports. And so far we did, of course, a separate German chapter, as Germany is the largest market, but also separate country reports for Italy, the UK, France, and Benelux. And I can promise there are more to come. So some key numbers out of this report. These are a lot of numbers, I know, but let me just focus here on the results here, the total results. In 2011, the total recorded turnover summed up to close to 1.5 billion euros, up from 1.3 a year before, which is an increase of close to 15%. And you see what I marked here in red. This is broken down by vision products, actually, the products categories. So the vision systems actually managed to perform over average last year with an increase in turnover of 20% or even more in terms of sophisticated application-specific and configurable vision systems. Overall, if we would extrapolate the total turnover to the whole industry, as I said, it's recorded numbers. It's what we are being reported, actually. If we would extrapolate this to total turnover of the whole industry, we would be way over 2 billion euros in total industry volume in all of Europe. And this is a quite impressive number, I would say, for a still fairly young industry. So here again, the same broke down by vision, by products. And what you see here is just a timeline of the last 4 years. So sales development in the various products in the last 4 years. And again, here it's quite remarkable, the increase you see in vision systems and also compact systems. Also camera sales, which account for the largest share of sales in the segment of vision components. They managed to increase their share in turnover last year compared to 2010. And what you see here marked in yellow, that's actually represent the year 2009, which we all remember of being quite a difficult year with where the global economic recession had a huge impact also on our industry. So I would like to draw your attention on our new chapter we added this year in the 2012 edition of the report, which is a country report, but then not really a country report, because for the first time we actually did not only cover one specific country, but a region, and the region is Benelux. Benelux includes 3 countries, which is Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg. And here we were able to identify almost 130 vision companies and vision enterprises that are active in machine vision or image processing by name and by their activity in that very region. And together with a, let's say, dark number of some more 10, 15 companies that are not visible, that were not visible to us, we would expect the total number of companies in that region of between 140 and 145, which is quite an impressive number, considering the fact that the Benelux are geographically not really large, actually. Benelux is home of some leading component manufacturers. I believe most of them, or even all of them, are also here these days and exhibit at Vision. They're active in sensor manufacturing and also camera manufacturing. What marks the region as well is that there are strong interdependencies between the industry and the research sector. So this is being highly promoted also by the governments. There's lots of research going on, both in Belgium and in the Netherlands. Are huge research centers which can be compared to the German Fraunhofer network. And they have set up actually also machine vision competence centers which do top-of-the-line research, but also very close project developments with the industry. The total industry volume of the region, of the 3 countries of Benelux in machine vision is close to 300 million euros. And again, for such a very restricted geographic area, this is quite remarkable. To sum this up, what we actually discovered in the Benelux, which is also very export-oriented because it's so small by tradition, is a very technology-affine region with extremely dense machine vision and image processing competence. Now, so far to some key results of our actually edition of the Market Statistics Report. I'm sure everybody wants to know how the future might look like, and I will try to answer a few of these questions. And first of all, let's take a look at the global economy. I think the big message that goes up this very day is 4 more years in the US, as Barack Obama has been reelected last night. I don't know how this might have an impact on GDP. What you see here is actually GDP growth expectations by Deutsche Bank Research for 2013. And basically, the legend is the darker the blue it gets, the more blue it gets, the more growth will be seen in the various countries. And so it's dark blue is above 10%, which is not even reached by the BRIC countries, which is Brazil, India, China, and Russia next year. So they are expected to have a GDP growth under 10%. But still, growth will be seen in most of the regions, except Southern Europe, which includes as well France and, of course, Greece. Here, the researchers at Deutsche Bank expect that GDP will at least contract, maybe even decline a bit next year. So not really a positive outlook, at least for Europe. Just quickly a look at our forecasts and what we saw, how machine vision developed in the last years. You see here the number for 2010, that was after the Great Recession, the just big increase where sales skyrocketed again, where the machine vision industry went out very well out of the crisis. Then the year after that, in 2011, total sales again increased double-digit with close to 15%. Our forecast actually for this year was for the whole year that machine vision sales will increase by 6.4% overall. And this increase coming more and more balanced from the 3 main regions, the Americas, Europe, and Asia. This has not been the case in former years, as you see here, the large, massive increase in 2010 after the year of crisis. So it's getting more balanced between the 3 main regions, with an overall 6.4% is what we predict, actually. So, of course, we would like to validate this in a way, and this is why we did a quick survey, a brief, quick poll amongst the industry, which we evaluated and conducted just last month. So actually this is very fresh and very new, and you're the first ones to see it. We asked several questions, and the first one was, how will total sales in the industry develop by the end of this year? So this is industry data coming from the companies, actually. And you see that a good third of the companies said, okay, sales of the industry, not by their personal view, will be fairly flat by the end of 2012 compared to the year before. And 32% said, okay, there will be an increase in industry total turnover of up to 5%. And only close to 15% say, okay, it will be more than 5%. But we don't have to forget the almost 19%, they would say there's a decrease compared to last year. So I want you to keep that numbers a bit in mind, and let me just compare this to the next question we asked, and that was, how will 2013, so next year, develop compared to 2012? And let me just flip back again. If you see here, the increase of above, that was the answers to the question, will sales increase above 5%? So we have for 2012, 15% saying that. And for 2013, we have 24%. So companies seem to be much more optimistic for next year than they are even for this year, at least here in this upper segment. Then we have exactly the same percentage saying that next year will be flat, as you see here, 2012, 34.7, and the same here. But actually, the percentage of companies saying that there will be a decrease declined. So it's only 12% saying, okay, sales in the industry will contract next year. Now, I do know that, for instance, VDMA presented some more well, not pessimistic, but lower growth numbers yesterday at the opening press conference. This is German machine vision development, which is highly dependent on the key industry, which is the automotive industry, of course. This is not so much the case in total Europe. We have industries, for instance, in France, but also in Italy and in Benelux in particular, which are not really dependent so much on the automotive industry. The other industries are much more important, and they seem to be still going very well. So let me just underline this with two questions I picked out when we asked about specific products and how they might develop next year. So this is how will business develop next year in camera sales. 53% say, okay, sales will go up next year compared to 2012, and only a small minority means that sales will contract next year. Last chart on this one here, we asked also about vision systems, and here's the question about application-specific and configurable vision systems. How will they develop next year? So these sophisticated vision systems, even a larger percentage of participants argued that their sales will increase next year. 8% say no, probably, and also 8% say sales might be flat. But this is a tremendous support of the opinion that sales will increase next year. With that, I would like to conclude. And before I thank you for your attention, I would like to point towards a very important date for EMVA and hopefully also for you. I would like to invite you for our upcoming 11th EMVA Business Conference, which will actually take place next year, 6 to 8 June in Barcelona in Spain. I hope you mark the calendar. It will be the 10th anniversary of EMVA. And we will also go back to our roots since EMVA has been founded 10 years ago in this beautiful, very city of Barcelona. So mark your calendar, and I hope we will meet there next year. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention.